Welcome to my channel. Today we're doing reading for sign of Scorpio, and keep in mind that this does not resonate for every Scorpio. If you like a personal reading, it's going to be the first link in the description down below. I repeat that. First link in the description down below for a personal reading. You also find my show things there in the description. You can find my Etsy shop, which has my tarot and my oracle cards on there. A bunch of things there on my Etsy shop in the description down below. You should definitely go check that out. You can also find my shirt store on my website, different social media platforms I'm on, as well as Patreon. All that's in the description down below. If you'd like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so. I do appreciate donations here. So, Scorpio, let's see what Spirit has in store for yourself. You have Talisian wanting to pop out already. So we'll get to that in a minute. You have the Grail 3, you have the Grail 7, Sword 4, Sword 2, Grail 4, Stone 7, the Grail Maiden. Scorpio, this asks you, you're having a spiritual meeting here, alright, with your spiritual team, your spirit guides. Alright, but what they're asking you here is Grail 7 being there. Is what you're asking for. Is that what you truly want? There could be a renewal of something there, but it feels like that would be temporary. You just kind of take a step back and think about it for a minute. We have Talisian as the first card here. Talisian, the poet of Arthur, sits in the firelit hall, telling a story to two children, the story of his initiatory transformations and chased by Saradin. He accompanies Arthur in his ascent to Anwen, and is the witness of Arthur's passing into Avalon. The lark represents his unceasing voice of memory. The legend of the transformation of Gwynbach into the poet Talisian is told in the hands Talisian. Gwyn was set to tend Saradin's magical cauldron of inspiration, intended for the drinking of Efudin, Saradin's son, who was so ill-favored that his mother wished to compensate for his lack of natural beauty with the gift of wisdom. But young Gwyn's fingers were splashed with liquid from the cauldron, and, to cool them, he thrust them in his mouth and acquired cauldron's wisdom for himself. Realizing his own danger, there was new one omniscience. Gwyn transformed himself into a hare, but Saradin pursued him in the form of a hound. He later changed into a fish, and she into an otter, into a bird, and she into a hawk. Lastly, he became a grain of wheat, only to be consumed by Saradin's hen. He was reborn in her womb 9 months later as the infant Talisian. This parable of bardic initiation sees the young poet establish his essential links with the other world, in which all levels of reality and wisdom are available. By means of his totemic associations with the different birds, beasts, and fish, of each whom represents a level of knowledge, the poet is able to participate simultaneously in every part of creation and in an omniscient way. He knows what has happened in the deep past and what will happen in the times to come. Although Talisian is primary chief bard to Elphin in this legend, he is closely associated with Arthur in other texts. According to the 9th century poem, Peredu Anwen, Talisian accompanies Arthur on his quest to Anwen, while Geoffrey of Monmouth's Vita Merlini. Talisian helps Merlin bear Arthur to Avalon to be healed by the goddess Morgan. The greatest repository of lore is found within the writings, which constitute the Book of Talisian. This takes the form of intricate gnomic poetry packed with references to myth, legend, and magic. The list of I have beens, in which the poet refers to the events of throughout history at which he was present, reflect a mystical understanding of creation seldom found elsewhere. Taliesin is the guardian of tradition. By means of his insight, he is able to impart wisdom through song and story, so that the youngest children can hear and understand. It is by such means that the mythic impact of Arthurian powers have been transmitted to our own century. For living links of tradition pass into our keeping. While there will always be special guardians, traditional lore is embodied by people who tell and listen to the stories. Those who seek earnestly and sincerely for our wisdom will encounter Taliesin, who, through his real dwelling in the place of region of summer stars, is nevertheless ready to aid the seeker and help him or her to contact the living wisdom of the other world. So it says tradition, revelation, insight, inspiration, preserving heritage and ancient memory, initiation, advice or wise counsel, spiritual transformation. And there's questions here, Scorpio. These questions are important for you to answer, so help Spirit understand what you're looking for. What inspires you about this? What is seeking to be revealed now? What is the next step in your story? What's the next step in your story, Scorpio? It does feel like you are spiritually transforming as well. Near 2 swords of a truce party and Adler curls. The truce before the Battle of Camlan. The Battle of Camlan, sometimes called the last battle within the Arthurian legends, is suggested in this card. The 2 swords represent the armies of Arthur and Modred, drawn up in truce. An adder moving in the grass caused man to draw a sword to slay it, until the battle was provoked. Truce or temporary peace, compromise, hesitation, suspension of beliefs or opinions, analysis before action. Question, what brings the peace? What's going to bring the peace in this situation in the first place, Scorpio? Sword 4. A sword rests on the chapel's altar for the night's vigil. Percival learns patience in his nightly training. Although Percival learned skill at arms from his uncle, his education is incomplete until he learns from his other hermit uncle the ways of the spirit. Traditionally, novice knights laid their swords on the altar before taking their final chivalric vows. Respite, meditation, retreat, rest, replenishment of spirit, solitude, follow power. Period. Question, what needs to rest? What needs to rest in this situation? Is it you? Is it something around you? So we have Grail 3. An apple orchard. The table is set with harvest fare. One of the prime functions of the Grail is to provide plenty to all who set forth on the quest. At Camelot, when the Grails first appeared to Arthur and his men, each person received the food he most desired. This can, of course, also mean spiritual fare. Solace, fulfillment, fortunate conclusion, generosity, spiritual hospitality, congenial meanings. Question, what is meaning here? And then we have the Grail 4. Near a standing lake of stagnant water, a cup lies overturned in brambles. It was said of Arthur's kingdom that there are no chalices in all the land. It is for this reason that many of the knights undertook the quest for the Grail. It says lethargy, boredom, spiritual stagnation, dissatisfaction, emotional immaturity. Question, what is causing dissatisfaction? What's causing dissatisfaction in your life, Scorpio? It's causing boredom. The Grail 7. In the waters of a lake, a fortress is reflected as a fairy how a cup of silver stands near the bank. When Percival fails to ask the Grail question, he retires to a bed in the Grail castle, but wakes to find the palace deserted. Similarly, when Galahad goes to the castle of the maidens, he is tested. When he refuses to aid the maidens of the palace, he discovers that they are not mortal women but phantoms. So self-deception, illusion, an overactive imagination, unrealistic fantasies, glamour of delusion. Question, what is deluding you? What is deluding you in this situation? Now the Grail Maiden. Beside a spring, the Grail Maiden stands holding an earthenware vessel. The Grail Maiden guides all who go on in search of the vessel, offering them a drink. Not all recognize the meaning of this gesture, as witness the acts of King Amycans and his men, who despoiled the damsels of the wells. An imaginative, creative, loving, sympathetic, artistic, humanitarian person, a dream, inspirational news. Question, how do you serve the Grail? And the thing is, how do you serve spirit here, Scorpio? Alright, feel like the Grail Maiden is yourself here. Okay, Stone 7. A great wall stretching across northern hills. It is broken. Nearby stands a simple stone. After his unsuccessful attempt at the quest, Lancelot returned to seek again the love of Guinevere. Spurred by her for a time, he went mad, roaming about through the wilderness until he was found and brought back by the sanity of Elaine of Astolat. His persistence, patience, exertion, and continual effort, fruitless speculation, question what will mend what is broken. So that is a thing here, Scorpio. Answering these questions is important here. But I feel like there could be something mending what was broken, like a connection between you and a person. But unfortunately, I see that being, like, temporary. Okay? The Spirit's asking you, what are you desiring here in your life? What are you seeking? What is the next step? What is causing dissatisfaction here? Alright, that is a spiritual meeting that you're having with your spirit guides here, and you're, like, transforming spiritually. So let's get some nerves and comes for yourself. We have Anubis. We have Horus. I have this moon beetle, which you're connected to. So you're connected with the moon, Scorpio, connecting with this beetle. We have Ra. We have this moon dragon star. Once again, connecting heavily with the moon. The dragon that you're connecting with is, well, dragon being power, strength, good luck, prosperity, supernatural powers. Then we have a star on it. Star can be Aquarius. You can have those placements or one around you. Star can also be wishing upon a star. And then we have this. So things are going to happen. It's more flow for you, Scorpio. So, that's all I have for you. Like I said, first link in the description down below for a personal reading. Let's go to my Etsy shop. Go in there, go buy something. Really appreciate that. If you want to see more content, don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys.